Obviously with Photoshop there's a number of ways to do the same technique or effect. I'd like to show you another way to blur the background, although using the mask like I showed you in the previous video is my favorite, or I think the easiest way to do it. But another way to do it is to create a selection around our subjects. There are a lot of different selection tools. I'm just going to try the lasso tool here, and I'm just going to go around my subject. I'm not being very precise. I could take more time. I could zoom in and carefully select, and I could use more than one selection tool here. I could use a magnetic lasso tool, magic wand, etc. Alright, and then I'm just going to go around and connect my lasso. Okay, so you see the marching ants, and I've got my subject selected, and I'm going to do an inverse selection. So I'm going to reverse the selection so it's selecting the outside. There are some tricks that you can do before that. You can go in the select menu and you can refine the edge or modify the marching ants. You could expand the line to go out farther or go in farther or feather right here. In fact, I think I'll try expanding it out just a hair by a couple pixels. And that line will move out a little bit. Didn't even notice it. And then I'm going to feather and 5 pixels. Alright, and then I'm going to inverse the selection. So now that the outside, the background is selected. Now I feathered it so that there's a gradual transition from the background to our subject, so it's not a very hard edge along this line, hopefully. Alright, so I'm going to choose filter like I did in the last video, and my favorite blur is to use Gaussian blur to start with anyway. And I have the blur set up pretty high. And I went a little higher just to see a dramatic effect, I guess. Alright, and then I'll deselect the marching ants. You can go deselect or look for the shortcut keys that are indicated next to the word deselect. Alright. Now, I don't like this one as much as the previous video. The edge is still too hard. Let's take a look at before and after. I'm not liking that. Let's see if I can repair that real quick. And I'm going to go back to where I had it selected. And then I'm going to inverse. And now I'm going to choose feather. I'm going to add a lot more to the feather. I'm going to go 19. I should have went 20. Alright. Now I'll add my filter. Blur, Gaussian blur. Okay. And I'll choose deselect. Alright. A little bit better. There's not as harsh a transition between the blurred and not blurred sections, but that's another way that you can try blurring the background.